Sorry about the minor delay, we had the power outage. Alright, so in this episode I will continue working on the running part, just to add more elements and optimize the ones that are existing. So let's take a first look. Let's take a look at what we did last time. Alright. I was surprised that the freak hunted me down that long, so that's why I ran a bit more than the section we built, just to test. But yeah, that was interesting. So apparently he wasn't stuck this time, so I guess this is just it doesn't happen all the time, it happens sometimes. So let's see again. So we have the sliding part here, and then we have the part that the cross is whatever these are called, and it just destroys the floor. Alright, I want to test one more thing before we move on. I want to test what if the player stops at that point when he sees that like, say, because he appears in front of you, and some players may just stop and just turn around. There's also one sound effect left from that cutscene. Yeah, if you hesitate at that moment, there is no way you can survive when you fall, because he will fall right behind you. He's also a bit slow. Yeah, for some reason he stops. Yeah, I think when we reset, the floor has to be collidable at first. because otherwise what you saw will happen. Let's see if that happens initially. It does. Alright. Let's fix it then. Just not the reset thing, it just needs to be... First this needs to be... Oh, it is collidable, so it's something with the cutscene then. Okay, so it's not here. It's not here either. That's weird. I think it's because this guy is non-collidable. Well, he becomes a character, but he's still non-collidable. Because otherwise he will bump this, he will bump everything. That's why this happened. There's a way I can think without making it collidable, but I think I'll just spawn him back here. It's the only thing I can think of. that's that. Let's move on to this section. So apparently those doors, they don't have their forward vector set up right. That's why they appear to be on a horizontal forward facing, but I think if I wait, not here, it's this guy that creates them. So I think that fixes it. Alright, next is I want to make the guy be more well, there has to be more contrast against the background, so I'm just gonna change the red, because he's red too. It's gonna make it stone again. Okay, and one more thing, we need to make sure that the player cannot get back from here. So we'll activate a primitive when everything's done. So this is collidable, and I don't think we need to do anything else, because when he comes out, he has fixed physics and he's non-collidable, so he can come out anyway. But just to be sure, let's test. So we can pass normally because it's a camera transition. And he can jump normally. He also resets properly. But let's be sure. Yeah, it resets properly. Alright, so he didn't spawn for some reason. Let's see what happened there. Actually, this is an independent part, so I'm just simply going to grab the player and place him outside that trigger, because it doesn't need to have the rest working in order for that to work. Right, so let's yeah, it's here. Is it? Oh no, it's not here. It's there. the goal of this part is to make it very intense for the player. So he's running and a lot of things happening, Michael Bay style. So let's see what happened here. So that didn't work. Okay, for some reason this guy stops. It's another thing which I noticed. He stops when he gets close to you, and that is valuable time because he's too easy. I think that's the case. Yeah, I'll remove that. Let's see how he reacts now. There we go. Yeah, you can get a bit stuck here. Alright, so the reason he wasn't... oh, the eyes still react to the camera? That was just really old logic. Oh, there's another one. Yeah, well, normally it would reset because there is a checkpoint. But yeah, he's more natural now. He's a bit harder. And the door, I have to say that the door looks really cool when it blows up. See? But for some reason only one of the door parts is being shot. So let's see where's the other one. It's only the right one. Okay, so let's go here. Let's see what happened to this guy. Yeah, apparently this guy is not shot properly. Maybe I made the wrong reference inside the brain, I don't know. So once there, not sure where the other part goes. Let's check this again. Okay, these seem to be created properly. Alright, just to make it easier for us, I'm just gonna name this 1 and 2 so we can make sure the reference is okay. Wait. Okay, so we have... oh, alright, okay, so it's opposite, yes. I can still change it. Alright. It seems to be the same, so that might be the physics. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna space them a bit, like this. So basically the player cannot see it from this angle, so we can have some space here to work. And then they will be sorted out better. So all they do is being pushed. Alright, I can still not see the other door. I'm not sure where it goes. What I'm gonna do is take a screenshot while it just blows up so I can see what happens. So let's do this. Alright, let's see what happens. So one door is here. And I think... Are they both here? What's the other one? It's weird. Maybe it's the same prop on top of each other. Right, so this guy can get stuck here, so I'm gonna pretend there's a small tunnel here. In order to... what is it? Alright, and by doing this, he will get stuck at the right area. also let you pass. So, guess that's that. Ah. Oh, he doesn't attack anymore? It's interesting. Yeah, but this guy does, so. And the good thing about it is that he's coded to not attack after 5 seconds of spawning. So that's the reason he doesn't straight away attack me when he spawns out of these doors. Because he needs to have 5 seconds before he can attack. And that is to give the player some time to think. And if you get stuck, of course, you can actually you can restart. It's not the hard part. I'm gonna move this to the point he gets stuck, so it's more. So he got stuck here. I'm just gonna grab this here. Let's see. Yeah, that looks alright. Alright, let's continue. So we have this area, then we have this. Another area where you have to duck. And then here, I'm going to add another door here, which basically will be locked, so if you make the mistake to go close, then you won't be able to come back and he will get you. So we'll use this guy again. Alright, and we'll have a small event here as well. So if you get close, I will designate an area here. If you get close, that door will start to pound, like somebody is hitting it from the other side. I think this is enough. with simple things like that. Then I'm gonna say when it has power, play sound, try wood. That's a good one. Alright. And to simulate the shake effect, I'm just going to use a random vector cone angle 2 with direction word up, which will simulate that shaking animation. We also have to set the sound effect to overlap, because it will happen very often, like every second. So saying overlap, and for that reason we have to say started to, so it doesn't overlap at the whole time. And I think we're set. So let's grab our player. Oh yeah, one thing I forgot is that because I use power, it just opens the door. So instead of using power, I should do something like brain enabled. And it's also very dark, so I'm just gonna grab some lit torches from here. We have plenty of props to place, so I'm not even in need of worrying for the prop limit at this point. Might be too bright though. We'll see. Yeah, I forgot to code inside the door. Yeah, because I had the power be the trigger event. All I had to do is remove it. Well, I also have to disable it at start. That's interesting. Why doesn't he play? He should be playing. Just a second, I'll be back. Just to make it look a bit better, I can split this wood frame into a smaller version that has two parts. Like this. Yeah, well, even though I did app, I don't think app is the best vector I can use right now, because app right now is not where I want to be. So forward, back, I think it's left. I have to use left. Left, and on this guy right. If this works, then we should see something like a small pound of this wood without it changing the face interaction. Yeah, that's right. I think we need to make it a bit make it happen more often, because you just see one, you see the door just being bounded once. It's gonna say, let's see, how about half the time and a bit less whole time. Yeah, looks better, but we also have to set the trigger zone to be a bit earlier, because as soon as you slide out of this, then you're in view of this door. So where is the trigger? There you go. I'll make this as much as it goes. Yeah. Alright. The sound is also relative to your position, because I didn't use the everywhere tile. I could use it because I have a trigger zone, but I think it's better that way. We can also go to the door and say properties, sound, so fade radius. And by doing that, we can see the amount, the radius that the sound can be heard, and I can make this a bit bigger so you can hear this right after you slide. Maybe a bit more. Alright, so now let's move to the next section. I'm gonna close this so it doesn't confuse everything else. Page is false. Okay, let's move to this area. You're gonna need to add more artists. And I think a good, well, grid just moved the prop. I think it would be a good idea to have that on the previous door that broke down, because it's always better to have more things be destroyed. So I'm just gonna place this guy here. This guy here. Actually, they have to be fixed. I don't know how these are called. This. Alright, a cool thing I can do is I'm gonna set this Sparky to turn as well. In this case, in the X axis. we have to bring back our player to test again. Oh, I forgot one thing. I forgot to destroy them. I think because those guys are gonna get in the way of the player. After 1 second, we'll destroy them. Actually, 2 seconds. Okay, one small thing I want to add here, just as a small detail, because I have those sands coming out from the ceiling. I want to make it so that the monster looks like he's walking just above us. So in order to do that, this here. I think here is a good place. Let's see the trigger. Trigger is good. Okay. It's the small details that tell that make a game what it is. Like, would it be Super Mario without all the design details and the secrets, or would it be a Metal Gear without all the attention to detail? But yeah, I'm really far away from those games. Just saying an example. Thing, one logic cube here leaves one sound playing over and over, and I forgot to fix it. All done. So now he will just break the floor, you fall below, and he will be walking in parallel but in a different floor. So you fall down. Seems to have bumped into something here. Anyway, he walks from above. Alright, one thing I forgot to reset. Everything has to be reset. And I have to do the same to this guy. Where is it? Actually, I don't need to do this with the event queue because it's based on the proximity on the trigger. Yeah, it's simple, so no need to reset there. What else? Yeah, I think the door is already resetting. the one with the barricades that breaks. I need a better sound there as well. I need a better sound when he falls here, because I know there are cool sounds for breaking stuff, so right. And I'm gonna also create that fog we created a while back. So it's here, this guy. And I'm gonna trigger it from this guy, so when you fall, it's already foggy. So I'm just gonna power it on and say, yeah, exactly that. Even the time was the same. I want to use 3 seconds. Okay. So now there will be fog, I think. Yes. It's a bit more realistic now, I guess. And he's still coming. It's really good. Because this guy is non-collidable, which means that every object I put would not obstruct him, only the player. It makes things a bit harder. I'll start adding abstractions here. Where am I? And of course these guys make the hunt a bit more interesting. Alright. And then what should I do in this pathway? Maybe, yeah, I think there's one thing I left I haven't used yet. I'm gonna add the door. Alright, and in order not to cause frustration, as we talked in previous episodes, the raycast goes through some surfaces, so you might not be able to interact with it everywhere if you select the part that has no metal. So I'm just going to use a primitive thin square that is transparent and is attached to one of the doors. And I need to use 2 because when it opens, if I use 1, it will just push you back. There we go. He stays there if I drop, because he's coded to have to only work when my position Y is the same as his. If it's not, then he just stops. It's a good thing because I can easily have him jump down or do some other logic. It's very flexible. In this case he will just jump down, so let me code that. Very simple, very easy. All I have to do is make sure the sensor only covers the upper part. There we go. Alright, so this section, it's a loop, it's a circle, and you have to just basically go from here to continue, but you can easily meet that freak if you're doing circles. Yeah, I did that already. I did that with the door up here. So in here it just destroys the terrain and stays there, and then you can hear her walking on the top here, because you also see the sand from the pressure from the stones, and then it just breaks this door and continues. So I did that. I just want to change it a bit because it's already behind you at that moment, so I thought, why not just continue to hunt you down, you know. Alright, so we need to add some torches, some more lit torches in that area. And 3 from the other side. We need to have this area be full of light. One here. Alright, then let's add a bit of decoration. Let me grab the artist. Later on, in the second iteration of the project, I will add more decoration than just artists. I'm just doing it now for basic design, just to fill this whole empty area. In the second iteration I might add more doors and stuff on the sides and everything. Well, not too much, because I don't want to confuse the player that there are other pathways. One thing I can do is add those guys as pillars. They look good if they're huge. I expected them to look better. Yeah, I think that looks better. It's really difficult to see now. That's why the origin point has always to be in the center. Hey Chris. Alright, I think those holes are the same now, so I'm just gonna place those in line. Okay. I can also have those guys be on the other side as well. Okay, so the trick to this area is the use of lighting. The only place that will not have lighting is the area that you have to go. And I will just place a torch on the other side of the wall. So only if you turn and look at it, then you will be able to spot that there is a hole here. Otherwise you'll see light, darkness in the middle, and you just have to use your torch to see that there is a section on the left. But let's see how this looks. Oh, after the credits. Not sure if they're gonna be credits, but there is definitely gonna be a secret scene that you cannot just see if you play the game normally. I will add some achievements that you have to complete. Not anything difficult, just grab some papers and stuff and find the secret location. And if you do that, then in the end you will have the extra ending, which is basically the normal story but extended. And that extended part will change the full story, just for the fun of it. Where is this guy? There you go. Oh, I cannot see anything. Alright, so I'm here. Where is this guy? I think he's above, but he doesn't have any light, so I cannot see. Yeah. Yeah, I think he got lost somewhere. Maybe I can recreate it at that point, just to be sure. Because if you go too fast, then he'll probably lose you. I'm not counting my time because I know the game and I'm running super fast towards what I have to do. I'm just saying that even if you go fast, he will hunt you down even faster. But if you go super fast, then he will just lose you. So in this case, I will just make sure he gets created at the point of, where is it? At the point where he jumped down here. So I'm just gonna use the logic from the door. So I have here. Yeah. Alright. What do you want to know, Chris? Okay, so this guy will be destroyed and created. Let's see if the front is right, so he will look this way. And just for the sake of being created, we also play an effect in case the player is looking there at that time, just to make it more realistic. In the previous times I created this guy, I used this effect, so I'm using the same now. Right, so normally he will just spawn here as soon as the player is in trigger zone, which is not correct, because if that happens, then he will spawn on the player. So we want to avoid that. So I'm just gonna grab the trigger zone and place it here. one more thing I didn't think about was interesting. The boolean, for example, the push command use. Yeah, it's really easy. I'll show you. So one thing I forgot to code is, okay, say, yeah, you create the character again, but this character has fixed physics. I forgot to make him into a character. So physics equals character, because otherwise he will go through walls and will not jump down, as we saw. Alright. Well, the push command is that first of all you have to use it with a duration and not with the starter 2, because it needs to happen more than one iteration to work well, and it only works in objects that have castle. What is that? Castle top door. Oh, alright, yeah. It only works on objects that have tumbling physics, which in case, well, you have to change their physics to tumbling before you do it. And what I did is that I created them first. As you can see, I can say I stored them inside the variable so I can use them later on, reference, and create them, the position and their forward vector and their up vector, so they look like the template. This template here, if you want them to look exactly as they are on the template right now, you have to do those things. So you have to specify where they are created, their forward and their up vectors, and by doing so they will be created there when you want. In this case, when this page enters, because there's a starter 2, and only once, because I use the starter 2 tile. And when you do that, then because they have tumbling physics, which I set in code, and that I do, it's complicated. It's not. It's really. It's just there are some basic things that you need to know about Project Spark, and then everything else is based on those basic things. For example, storing everything when you create it inside an object variable is super useful, because then you reference that variable and you don't have to reference that anymore, because you don't know how many instances of that you're gonna create. So I changed their physics to tumbling so they can move like basically they have physics. And then when I do that, I say push that object which I created away from a reference point, which in my case is that castle door, and 1.5 strength is almost equal as the rustic fan, and that just breaks them apart, and that happens for 1 second. That's it, basically. It's not really difficult. You can also check the rustic fan prop inside the prop gallery. It has the push code, and it's very easy. It's just one line. You can see it if you want. That's it, basically. Okay, so I have to, we did make sure the character has physics of a character. We have to do the same here. Yeah, it's not hard. Push basically pushes tumbling objects. That's all you have to remember. And characters, but tumbling objects are pushed towards every direction. Character objects are only pushed as long as they're not falling, because if they're falling, then, well, it's the same with tumbling props, but I'm not sure how to explain it to you, but their up vector or left vector doesn't change on characters, whereas on tumbling physics everything changes. They can roll, they can yaw, they can pitch. Characters always stay upright even if they are pushed somewhere, so it's just one vector that gets pushed, basically only one axis. Anyway, so we have this guy creates character physics. up. Okay, I think we're good to go. Let's see. He will move forward. He's not in the trigger zone, so I would say it's kind of a hack if I say different position. I'll just use duration and have a starter 2 here, so it jumps once and then moves for 2 seconds forward. Okay, let's see how this looks. Hopefully he will still hunt us down. Oh, well, I forgot the 5-minute break. You guys should have told me. Alright. Where's this guy? Alright. Because he gets stuck there for some or whatever reason. There are 2 ways to do it. I'm either gonna yeah, I think the best way to do it is to add some primitives. Yeah, it's nothing difficult. It's just based on simple concepts. And I'm also debugging, so this is not how the real game looks. For example, here there will be the enemy appearing in front of me, and there will be music. Okay, let's see if he hunts us down properly now. Still coming. Still coming. Alright, let's see here. Oh, that was a close one. Alright, let's see now what happens now. What? What just happened? I thought I teleported. Okay, he was destroyed. I think I forgot to change the position where he gets created. Something weird happened. Alright, let's grab our player and move to that point straight away, because the rest is ready for at this point. So let's find our player. Where's our player? There you go, the big C sensor. Let's make it very distinct. Alright. So he didn't appear, which means something's wrong in here. So, jump. Alright, I'll have this after he gets created, so This will ensure that will run after the started to tile, because it takes 2 iterations to run this tile. So he will be destroyed, he will be created a position, physics changed, this 4 changed, not sure what's wrong. Well, it's about knowing a few more things. Yeah, you can easily learn if you're watching somebody else building. I think it's the easiest way, because they see how they do it. Although I have to say that I'm really fast, so maybe just tell me to slow down if you see something and don't understand. Alright. So even though I didn't change anything, I'm not sure what happened here. There he is. Oh my god. The whole speeding up when you're far away, it's so creepy. Look. If you somehow manage to run away, then he'll just catch up. Okay, so this is the way you have to go. I think it's pretty obvious. It's not so difficult. And look at that. We're in the end of this section. So I finally completed the ending run. So okay, let's find out where we are. Oh, it's the opposite way. We are here. Let's add some more things here. And now we need to create a new cutscene. That the last door is actually locked. And you'll basically be caught by this thing. Considering everything works, that is. Alright, so one thing I want to do at this point is to change the skybox, because I want to show to the player that the exit is right there. Alright, so we have this path, then at the end here, the very end, there'll be simply, let's see how much. Oh, there's a lot more terrain, so we have to clear this up big time. Okay, so I think, yeah, this is good. So this is the end of the level. And I will make it less creepy, don't worry. But here the whole idea is that there is vegetation and a nicely put place which you can see when you escape. But the thing is, there's a big catch. So I'm going to, alright, let's choose this wild grass. Whoa. This side of the wall will not be seen by the players, so we don't really care. Also, let's decubify this area so we can add a bit of a landscape. Like this, and then go to expand, change brass. What is that? It's weird. Alright. Now the trick is to add land right before the land ends, so that when you look at it from the player's point of view, you cannot see where this area ends. Like this. So when you come like this, you see you cannot see where this land ends, even if it's very close to you. We'll probably add some more terrain. Why not? I can use the plateau brass. This basically lets me use 100% without creating too large terrain. Although I have to say the plateau with the cylindrical brass eats up your terrain limit very fast. So you either have to use square brass as I'm doing now, or at least use a grid. So otherwise, yeah, it's already going up like 10% only by adding this small area. And it is small compared to the rest of the gigantic area I have here. Imagine that this is the max scale of a character, and look how big this place is. Anyway, alright, so we have this area here. Let me paint it with grass. And now that we have more depth, we can also erode to maybe create like a river or something. We'll see. But we can definitely erode now. Oh, well, not that much. Alright. And again, oh, I was tunneling all this time? Really? Oh my god. Okay, and as I said before, in the edges, raise them a bit so the player cannot see where the land ends. Okay. So this will be the end of the game. And basically we need to add, not a door, I might add a door, well, we'll add the door, but I don't want the door to show the outside, I want the windows from above to show the outside. So let's find a cool window. All the windows have no area where you can see through, so I have to create my own frame, not a window. I was thinking what to use. Maybe I can use dungeon again, dungeon props. I think those curves in in the artist make really good windows. So let's see. I remember using them in the studio to create some cool windows. Can't remember how I did it though. Oh yeah, maybe I think if you use those guys like 50%, maybe it'll look good. It's too big. Okay, let me manually scale it down, see if I can get something that looks cool. How big is this guy? Yeah, it's big. Alright. Actually, I don't like the pillar here, so I'm going to replace it with this because it looks more uniform with the window. And add one more and we're cool. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is delete this guy and attach those guys to this. And then since this guy is on the grid, I can easily create the window. Okay, let's make sure it's aligned well. Right, this guy needs to be a bit to the left. Yeah, I think it's good looking now. And finally we add the small version of this prop like this to end the window frame, and then we delete the terrain on that area. See, now my brush is too big for it. What we can do is if we cubify the terrain on this area, at least for now, because TU16 will have smaller brushes in a few days, that is. And now that we have Cubify, I can use smaller versions, as you can see. So I want to use something like that is maybe wrong brush. Okay, this big maybe, like this. Well, yeah, that is very useful. It's a very useful tool for a lot of different purposes, especially attaching stuff to characters. It's the only tool that can do that. As you can see, it looks good from the outside if you take out all this weird nonsense on this side. If you cubify it, it looks cool. Alright. So now we have to align these heads to the actual window. Maybe we need to make it a bit bigger because it doesn't look so inspiring like this. I'm just gonna attach the whole frame to one component so I can move it easily. Alright, so maybe if we have the double, we can do it like this. I think it looks good. this works. Oh no. That's why I couldn't align it, because it has to be here. Well, it will be easier anyway. There we go. That was a lot easier. Okay. Okay, so this is the end of the dungeon. So it has to look... Well, entrances look a lot better than the actual dungeon for some reason, so I'm gonna make it a bit more pretty. And this is a huge area, and there is a reason for it. Alright, cool, yeah. Yeah, see you in 20. So now we need the door here. And this door will be the classic prison door I made in the beginning, not the metal door. And the reason is that I want to fully destroy it when the player transforms. So I want to use this one. Okay, so this is locked from the outside. This. The player won't be able to go through. Alright, and we'll trigger the skybox chains here. one thing we have to make sure is that when the player dies before it gets to that point of to the event point, we have to also change the skybox back to where it was. So this event cube will have a maybe I want to do day clear, so I want to show this whole getting out brightness. Alright, so this will be the sky. What change? What else? We started, and then global flare. Yeah, actually, mistake. Never do it on the same page because it will work for the full game. So let's see here. Not even press what I want. Alright, okay, so bitbox sky. Switch to next page. Okay, all done. Sorry. We also need the light effect. And for the first time in this game, I will create some living people, except the character B, of course, but some NPCs that are living. So in order to do that, I'll grab this guy. So these will be the guards of this place. this will be their brain, and I'm creating it like that because they need to have the same logic, every one of them. So, night brain. Let's give them a weapon. So that's that. And now we'll create another event cube. We'll create our final cutscene. Actually, I could use the door from here straight away. It's the same exact logic, so why not? let's see how it looks, and then we'll do the whole running scene together. Alright. Not gonna say it's gonna take ages. So let's see how it looks again. Right. Now let's place it from the start again, so we can see the full thing. So this is how the full thing looks like. Happens with the character. He doesn't get spawned for some reason. Anyway, I'll fix it in the next episode. We'll make sure that guy gets spawned for good, because for some reason he doesn't get spawned. Alright, I think it's time to pause it here. So I'll continue tomorrow with the rest. And thanks for watching again, and see you guys tomorrow. Same time, you know the drill. Thanks.